Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the one skill that I had to acquire to actually consistently make products that people actually wanted on Amazon. Not just listing products, very different from listing successful products that people want to buy. Just listing products are two totally different things. So you're going to be learning that by the end of today's video. Be sure to stick around to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. All right, so here we are. We've landed in my computer, and today we're going to be talking about the buyer's mindset versus the seller's mindset. Okay, so this is actually something that I covered in a private email list that I release every week. To get onto that email list, there will be a first link in the description. We're going to be talking about the buyer's mindset versus the seller's mindset. So there's very different frameworks that those two demographics function from. When I'm a customer and I'm a buyer and I'm looking at a market, this is just something that I pulled up to look at as something that I'd be interested in, a fly fishing life jacket. I want to know certain aspects around why I'm benefiting from purchasing this. There's things that certainly have to be met in order for me to order it. It has to have the features that I'm looking for. It usually has to be in the design or the color that I'm looking for. And it has to have good social proof and be in the price range that I'm looking to spend. If you can meet all of those things, you're generally going to be able to, well, if you're a seller, sell to that customer. And if you're a customer, find a product that works for you. So today we're going to be covering both sides of that. When I look at this market as a customer, as a buyer, I'm really not going to focus on much more than the top half of this page. That's just me personally as a buyer. There might be other buyers out here who will go through 400 options before they pick something. I'm just not that person. I generally look at like the top 10, top 15 results. The first thing that I notice is the main image. The main image is good, I'll move on to click into the listing. If the price is good, I'll move on and click into the listing. But for the most part, I'm looking at that main image and I'm looking at the ratings. So just saying something from a buyer's perspective, that's some of the most important areas to focus on. And then as a seller, knowing that about buyers, you can manipulate your main image to be exactly what the buyer wants to see and make sure that your reviews are good and your price is in the right range. So now I've really narrowed it down to these two. Mentally, just looking at this page, I did a quick scroll through here. I looked through here. I didn't necessarily see anything that I liked more than those ones. Some of them are kind of similar, but for the most part, this has the big two things that I'm looking for: the number of pockets, the ability to hang a tool from it. And then this one has the same kind of thing going for it. So then the only thing that I noticed right away that was different is this one's $20 more expensive. And it actually looks like it has less pockets. There's a lot of smaller pockets on this one that I would definitely find a use for. In fact, I've already ordered this. Funny story. If we go to my orders, you can see that I did in fact already order this one just to prove that this is kind of a realistic scenario. So let's open this up and figure out why that I purchased this one. When we look into here, we can see that they have 4 different variations in color. I ended up going with green because most of my gear, my kayak and all that is green. And then what ended up selling me on this ultimately was the number of uses and the number of pockets, and then the price was just $20 lower. So in my mind, I don't necessarily see a reason to go back to the other one that was $65. I don't think there's an additional $20 worth of value here. And that serves as an important lesson for sellers. Just because you have a feature that you think is $20 more important doesn't mean that the target demographic is going to necessarily agree with you. I see this all the time, and this will happen especially in markets where the product is kind of just designed to be used once or twice and then thrown away. No one really wants to pay $15, $20, $30 more for something that's an improvement upon that product. Okay, in this sense, if there was like a key feature that I knew I was going to use all the time and it wasn't existing in the other life jacket, I certainly would have purchased this one. But there's nothing here that I can see that's like absolutely necessary for me to get over the other one. So in that sense, I'm going to actually just stick with the one that I bought. I still think that that was the better option. Ends up being $65 after you select a size. So we go to oversize. Oversize is $58. For some reason, universal is more expensive. That's interesting. So the oversized one is somehow more expensive or less expensive. You would have thought it was the other way around. But either way, what I want you to take away from this video is that you need to be able to flip back and forth between these two mindsets. As a seller, try and get into the shoes of the customer. Go watch YouTube videos that customer would watch surrounding this purchase. Go read all of the reviews. Think about the key features that they're looking for. You could support this with keyword search data. You could go use a tool like Magnet by Helium10 and look up exactly what customers are searching for and what characteristics this product needs to have to meet their needs. So being able to hone that skill of just dropping all intention as a seller and shopping in your market, I would say, is what you should take away. If you could write down one thing from this lesson, it would be take off your selling cap and put on your buyer's cap and just have no intention other than to choose which one you would buy. You would not even imagine how much power there is in being able to see what you would buy in the market. Not yours, which competitors would you buy and why? What are the things that you looked at? Actually make a decision. Pick one to buy that you want to use, or pick one to buy that you think is the best competitor. Why did you choose them? Was it their imagery? Was it their explanation of how to use it? Was it the explanation of why purchasing from them will make your life easier? All of those things are things we need to focus on. So there's not any one thing that I could point to you and just say, hey, this is what you need to do to become a better seller, other than the fact that you need to open up awareness and start just shopping around as a customer. That'll actually show you all the weak points in the market and all the strong points and what you need to do to develop your product. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss videos like this in the future. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Later.